It's one of those things.
Should we start then? Oh, he's coming?
Not a problem. This should be fairly quick and easy. So, just a couple items, right? Yeah. No. Good to see you. How you doing? All right. Mark, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. I now call to order the meeting of the directors of the Empire State New Market Corporation for March 4th, 2015. I'd like to note for the record that I will be the acting chairman for today's meeting. Further, I would like to note that this meeting is being webcast and that we welcome public comment on the items on our agenda. The directors have received the written materials in advance of today's meeting and are free to ask questions at any time. Before we begin with the substantive portion of the meeting, I would like to ask the directors whether anyone has any potential conflict of interest with respect to any of the items on the agenda. If so, please make an appropriate disclosure on the record at this time. We'll then be sure to ask you to recuse yourselves from any discussion or vote with regard to such items. Sam, do you have any items that you need to recuse yourself for?
No, I have no conflicts, Mayhew.
Excellent, and I say the same for myself. The foregoing having noted for the record, the first order of business is the approval of the minutes of the directors' meeting of March 27th, 2015. Are there any questions, comments, additions, or deletions to the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion. Great. Thank you, Sam. Sam, do you have a motion for approval? I think it's just you and me today.
So moved.
And a second? I'll second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Then we'll move on. John Evan Hornsby will present our next item on today's agenda, requesting authorization for the corporation to enter into a contract for consulting services. John Evan.
Thank you. Good morning. This is a request for authorization to enter into a contract with Rise Community Capital, LLC, to provide consulting services to Empire State New Market Corporation in connection with its potential future allocation of federal new market tax credits and deployment thereof. The contract term will be 3 years for fiscal years 2016, 2017, and 2018, with an option to extend to December 31st, 2018. Contract amount not to exceed $500,000, and the funding sources will be ESNMC fees and operating funds. On April 20th, 2015, ESNMC issued an RFP to solicit proposals for NMTC consulting services. The RFP was published in the Contract Reporter and sent to the consulting firms that were known to have NMTC practices. Additionally, a target was set for 30% of the contract amount to be awarded to qualified minority and women-owned business enterprises. Responses were due on May 15th, 2015. Responses were received from 9 consulting firms and were scored independently by 6 ESD staff members. Based on their scores, 3 firms were brought in for interviews. Of the 3 firms interviewed, staff found that Rise provided the best and most cost-effective proposal for consulting services, and therefore recommends that the contract be awarded to Rise under the terms outlined in the materials. Staff also considers the proposed contractor to be responsible. It is recommended that Rise be engaged for the following scope of services: assist ESNMC in preparing an application for a future NMTC allocation in 2015, 2016, and or 2017, screen potential NMTC transactions for eligibility, identify potential NMTC investors and debt providers and structure NMTC transactions accordingly, close NMTC transactions with the support of ESD staff, assist ESNMC in the compliance of all terms, covenants, and agreements in connection with ESNMC's NMTC program, and on an ongoing basis provide suggestions for the successful continuation of an NMTC program and suggestions to improve ESNMC's chances of receiving future NMTC allocations. The directors are requested to make a determination of the responsibility with respect to the proposed contractor and authorize the corporation to enter into contract with Rise Community Capital, LLC for an amount not to exceed $500,000. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, John Evan. Are there any questions or comments from the directors?
I have none, Mayhew. It sounds like a great company.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you, Sam. And John Evan, this is a new consulting firm we're using, different from the ones we used in the past.
Correct. We used the old consultant for 4 consecutive applications, and we thought it was wise to go another route.
That sounds great. Terrific. And are there any comments from the public? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
And I will second that. And then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? Should be none. John Evan will also present our last agenda item, requesting authorization for the corporation to enter into a contract for accounting services. John Evan, when you're ready.
Thank you. This is a request for authorization to enter into contract with Cohn Resnick, LLP, to provide accounting services to Empire State New Market Corporation in connection with ESNMC's previous allocation and potential future allocation of federal New Market tax credits and deployment thereof. Again, this contract will be for 3 years, fiscal years 2016, 2017, and 2018, with an option to extend to December 31st, 2018. The contract amount will also be not to exceed $500,000, and the funding sources ESNMC fees and operating funds. On June 1st, 2015, ESNMC issued an RFP to solicit proposals for NMTC accounting services. The RFP was published in the Contract Reporter and sent to accounting firms that were known to have NMTC practices. Additionally, a target was set for 30% of the contract amount to be awarded to qualified minority and women-owned business enterprises. Responses were due on June 26, 2015. Responses were received from 3 accounting firms and scored independently by 4 ESD staff members. Staff found that Cohn Resnick provided the best and most cost-effective proposal for accounting services and therefore recommends that the contract be awarded to Cohn Resnick under the terms outlined in the materials. Staff also considers this proposed contractor to be responsible. It is recommended that Cohn Resnick be engaged for the following scope of services: provide transactional accounting projections and related opinions. For each transaction, prepare an annual audit and tax return for both the investment fund and the operating entity for fiscal years 2016, 2017, and 2018. Provide NMTC compliance services and administer periodic testing and reporting on NMTC compliance, and prepare an annual audit and financial statements for ESNMC for fiscal years 2016, 2017, and 2018. The directors are requested to make a determination of responsibility with respect to the proposed contractor and authorize the corporation to enter into contract with Cohn Resnick for an amount not to exceed $500,000. Thank you.
Terrific. Thanks, John Evan. Any questions or comments from the directors?
I have one, Mehul, just a general question about when we issue these RFPs. Jonathan, thank you for the presentation in both. Do we typically get much response from upstate companies when we issue RFPs for, for instance, these 2, Rise and Cohn Resnick, I'm assuming are downstate firms. Do we ever get responses from upstate companies?
Most of the firms that respond have either a statewide platform or a national platform. Cohn Resnick is a national player, very well regarded in the NMTC space, and Rise is a local firm. They're based out of Queens, but they do work all throughout New York State. So there hasn't been many specific or people who are based in upstate New York, but we can look out for that in the future.
Great, thanks.
Sure. And then just, John, remind me, we did not have an accounting firm before in the past. This is the first time we're picking this up. Is that right? Please correct me.
No, we have. Cohn Resnick is actually the accounting firm that we have on record.
Okay.
And they applied. There were 3 responses, and Cohn Resnick still maintains the best for our services.
That's great.
Yes, we've had them since the very beginning.
Okay. We've had them since the beginning. That's great. That's good to know. Not a bad thing to have consistency there, particularly in the accounting services side of this. Excellent. Are there any comments from the public? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
And I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye as well. Any opposed? No. And then I think that's all for today. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for everyone's participation in today's meeting. Special thanks to Director Hoyt for coming out of his vacation, or on his vacation, for attending the meeting. We appreciate that, Sam.
Thank you.
Hope now back to the mimosas. There being no further business, I will call for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Excellent. Thank you, Sam. I'll second that, and wishing you all a great week.
Thank you, Sandy.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.